going to go through everything Apple announced at its all-dropping iPhone event today. So let's begin. So the event kicked off with the announcement of AirPods Pro 3, which feature a new design with smaller earbuds, improved spatial listening experience with next-generation adaptive EQ, upgraded active noise cancellation, up to 2 times more than AirPods Pro 2, and up to 4 times more than the original 2019 first-gen AirPods Pro. We get live translation powered by Apple Intelligence, improved fit with 5 ear tips that are foam infused, by the way. So they must have little bits of foam in the ear tips to make them a little more cushiony for your ears. And they also do have now, I believe, an extra small instead of just an extra small. There's now an extra small size. These AirPods are also the first AirPods to ever feature heart rate sensing during workouts. Also the first AirPods to be IP57 sweat and water resistance. We also get an increase in battery life for these AirPods Pro, up from 6 hours of the second gen to 8 hours and 10 hours of battery for the hearing aid feature with transparency mode on. The AirPods Pro 3 are available for $249 right now. You can pre-order them today and they will be available September 19th. So, alright, next up we got the Apple Watch Series 11, the Apple Watch Ultra 3, and the Apple Watch SE 3. Starting off with the Series 11, we get 2 times more scratch-resistant glass on the cheaper model with the non-sapphire infused glass. We get a new space gray aluminum finish. We get 5G for the first time on the Apple Watch Series 11. We get upgraded battery life finally after a decade, up from 18 hours to 24 hours on the Series 11. We get live translation on the Series 11, as well as brand new hypertension notifications. This will alert you after a 30-day period if your watch detects signs of high blood pressure. Also brand new, this is a watchOS feature, not exclusive to the Series 11, but brand new, we have Sleep Score. This should be coming to every Apple Watch, I believe, as long as it's a Series 6 or newer, and I believe that's it for the Series 11. Now, as far as the Apple Watch Ultra 3, not really much has changed here either, except now with the Ultra 3, we also get 5G like we did on the Series 11. We get slightly thinner borders around the screen, allowing for a slightly bigger screen and the exact same size body. We get satellite connectivity on the Ultra 3, allowing you to be off-grid and still share your location via Find My and send messages and make emergency calls via satellite. Still comes in the natural finish as well as the space black finish. It may also have a brighter display. It does also have the better off-axis viewing that we got with the Series 10 last year. Oh, we do get, for the Ultra, we do get a bump in battery life as well, from 36 hours up to 42 hours on a single charge. So almost full 2 days. And if you put that thing on low power mode, you'll definitely get over 48 hours. As far as the SE3 goes, I believe it gets 5G just like the other two. It gets the gestures, which an SE has never had before. It gets an always-on display. It gets fast charging. It gets the fast S10 chip found in the Series 10, 11, and Ultra 3. SE3 also gets sleep scores, sleep apnea notifications, and wrist temperature sensing, and the SE3 is a great value starting at $249. Once again, available for pre-order right now, available on Friday, September 19th. Everything announced today is available on the 19th. Everything also went up for pre-order today, the 9th, and the iPhones will go up for pre-order at 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern on Friday. Next up, we went straight to the iPhone. As far as iPhone 17 goes, this is actually a huge upgrade from the 16. Same basic design. You basically wouldn't be able to tell them apart other than maybe the slightly more dull colors of the 17. But man, does it get a huge upgrade over the 16. With the base model 17, you now get 120 Hz ProMotion display. You now get an always-on display. You get dual 48 megapixel cameras. That's a 48 megapixel wide and a 48 megapixel ultra wide, as well as an upgraded front-facing camera that's 18 megapixels with selfie center stage, and you can now take pictures horizontal. Like, you don't have to turn the phone anymore. When you want to take a horizontal photo or video, you can hold it vertically and still take horizontal photos and videos because the sensor is now square. And center stage makes it easier to track people and keep everybody in frame with AI. The base model 17 also gets the A19 chip, up from the A18 chip of the 16, with a slight boost to battery. Also, the Space 17 gets a slightly larger screen, up from 6.1 of the 16 to 6.3 inches. So it's basically a 16 Pro, but aluminum. You get the always on display, you get the 120 hertz, you get everything basically except the telephoto from the 16 Pro. It's good to see finally ProMotion has made its way down to the base models after all these years. All 4 new iPhones except for the Air, so 3 new iPhones out of the 4 feature fast charging. Well, faster fast charging. You can get up to 50% in 20 minutes of charging using a 40-watt adapter. The iPhone Air, which we're going to get to, is still stuck around 25-watt fast charging. All 4 models, by the way, do still have MagSafe, if that was a concern of yours. But yeah, the base storage for the 17 was also upped from 128 and the 16 to 256 gigs. So that's good. You get double the storage for the same price. Now for the star of the show, the iPhone Air. It is the thinnest iPhone ever at 5.6 millimeters, only 0.1 millimeter thicker than the 12.9-inch M4 iPad Pro. I mean, look at it. It's basically as thin as the buttons. I don't understand how they even fit a Type-C port on there. That little visor at the top, I think Apple's calling it the plateau, is where the actual motherboard is for the phone. So basically the entire back of the phone is literally pretty much all battery. And this is the first iPhone to be eSIM only in every country around the world. Obviously, I don't even think they would have room for a SIM in there. There's a few downsides with this model. One is obviously going to be the battery life. It's so thin and you can't fit a big battery in there. I mean, I don't know how battery technology works, but I'd assume the more space you have to fit a battery, the bigger battery you can put in there, meaning more battery life comes out of that, right? But yeah, here we get a super thin, super futuristic looking phone. You can see just how far that camera bump sticks out from the actual body of the phone. That is kind of ridiculous. But on the front, we got a 6.5-inch, 120 hertz OLED panel with always on display. We got Type-C charging as well as MagSafe charging. We don't get the 40-watt fast charging that the other iPhones do, but we still get 25-watt fast charging via MagSafe and via cable. We get camera control, we get the action button, but as far as cameras go, we only get one 48-megapixel wide camera, no ultra wide, and no telephoto on this model. We also do not get stereo speakers on this model because there was not room for it. So at the bottom of the device, instead of having your normal bottom firing speaker like you would literally any other iPhone, you only have one speaker at the top. So the earpiece speaker is the only loudspeaker you're going to get on the iPhone Air. They also did release a MagSafe battery pack for the iPhone Air, specifically for the iPhone Air. So that tells you everything you need to know about the battery life expectations of this device. But yeah, I think I'm going to pre-order one in the sky blue. I really like the sky blue. Yeah, and I'm excited to see just how thin it is. The iPhone Air starts at $999, so not as expensive as the rumors were saying. And we also start at 256 gigs of storage. One odd thing about this though, it does have the A19 Pro chip on the Pro phones with one less GPU core, but for some reason it still uses a USB 2.0 USB-C port. Don't ask me why. Next up, we've got the iPhone 17 Pro and iPhone 17 Pro Max. Now they come in these 3 really odd for Apple finishes. We get no black, no gold, no rose gold, none of that. We only get silver, cosmic orange, and deep blue. Now, the one I'm going to be ordering is a Pro Max in the cosmic orange, 256 gig. Because who needs more than that on a phone? You know, it's so funny. The phones are now starting at 256, and the Macs are still starting at 256. One is a smartphone, one is a full-fledged computer. When is Apple going to bump the storage up on these Macs? They need to get rid of 256, get rid of 512, and start at 1 terabyte minimum for any Mac that's on the shelf today. Anyway, my side rant's over. We have this new unibody aluminum design with a little glass window to allow for wireless charging, but the camera visor and the whole body, except for the lighter cutout around the Apple logo, is all aluminum. No more titanium, no more stainless steel. We get unibody aluminum structure with a glass window to allow for MagSafe and regular wireless charging. The flash, microphone, and LiDAR sensor have shifted all the way to the right of the new camera design, and all three sensors on the Pro phones are now 48 megapixels. So you get 48 megapixel wide, 48 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto. But the telephoto was downgraded, actually, kind of, because on the 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro models, we got a 5x telephoto lens. Now on the 17 Pro models, we have a 4x telephoto, but it's capable of optically zooming up to 8x. So we get more optical zoom, but we're going from 5x to 4x. So that's kind of strange. These Pro models also do feature the new 40-watt fast charging. They have the new A19 Pro chip inside, with a vapor chamber for the first time ever in an iPhone. And also with these new iPhones, for the US models at least, since they're all going to be eSIM only, they actually finally did something with the eSIM models. Instead of just putting in like a little plastic filler where the SIM card reader would be, they now have, the eSIM models now have a larger battery than the models without eSIM. So that's pretty cool. As far as the front, it's basically the same as the 16 Pros, except I believe it gets 1,000 nits brighter than the 16 Pros. So 3,000 nits instead of 2,000 nits. But it's the same 6.3 inch and 6.9 inch LTPO OLED with ProMotion that we've had last year. But it's supposed to be the biggest boost in iPhone battery life ever. And for the first time ever on the Pro Max model, you can now get a 2 terabyte storage option for $2,000. The iPhone Pros also get the center stage 18 megapixel front facing camera, and you can now record the back camera and the front camera at the same time on all 4 models. That's everything Apple announced today at its all-dropping event. We got AirPods 3, Apple Watch Series 11, Apple Watch Ultra 3, and Apple Watch SE 3, as well as iPhone 17, iPhone Air, and the iPhone 17 Pro models. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment your thoughts on the Apple event down below. If you feel like supporting the channel, please feel free. There's a link down below to the products I used to create this video, and to my Amazon storefront where you can find some cool gadgets that you would definitely enjoy if you're an Apple geek like me. Check that out down below. Maybe purchase something. It supports the channel, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. I'll see you guys later.